Pleading not guilty by reason of insanity is a somewhat unusual way for criminal perpetrators to try and avoid responsibility for the crimes they've committed. In the US and most other Western countries, insanity at the moment of the crime excuses you from punishment, with the only consequence of the crime being involuntary treatment and imprisonment until deemed no longer insane. Claiming insanity at the moment of the crime in court is often referred to as the insanity defense. According to an 8-state study, the insanity defense is used in less than 1% of all court cases. When used, it has a success rate of 26%. Some well-known cases where the insanity defense worked include John Schrank, who shot Theodore Roosevelt, John Hinckley Jr., who shot Ronald Reagan, and Ezra Pound, who used a radio show to promote fascism during World War II. On the other side, many famous criminals have tried the insanity defense, but often to no good. This includes Ted Bundy, Jeffrey Dahmer, and Kenneth Bianchi. Succeeding with the insanity defense in the US for someone who was not insane at the moment of the crime is extremely difficult and requires meticulous planning to appear believable. This is because of the legal definition of insanity. Insanity was first defined legally in the case of Daniel McNaughton. The jury instruction of the definition of insanity is today referred to as the McNaughton Rule. It goes as follows. To establish a defense on the ground of insanity, it must be clearly proved that at the time of the committing of the act, the party accused was laboring under such a defect of reason from disease of the mind as not to know the nature and quality of the act he was doing, or if he did know it, that he did not know he was doing what was wrong. Acts such as destroying or hiding evidence, creating fake alibis, and lying or hiding information in an interrogation can work against you. This is because such actions imply that you know what you were doing was against the law, or against commonly held moral principles. Insanity, in its legal definition, requires one to have been in such a state that he did not understand that what he was doing was wrong, or simply did not understand the nature of the act itself. Thus, to appear believably insane, there must be little to no acts implying you were trying to avoid prosecution. As an example, Ted Bundy hiding the bodies of the women he murdered implied he was not legally insane at the moment of his crimes. He clearly understood the nature of his acts and that they were against commonly held moral principles and the law. On December 5th, 2012, Jerrod Murray shot and killed fellow student Gennaro Sanchez. His reasoning was both simple yet terrifying. He told investigators he committed the murder simply to know what it felt like to kill someone. After offering Gennaro $20 to drive him to Walmart, he pulled out a .40 caliber Springfield handgun with which he threatened Gennaro and made him drive away from the town up north. Upon getting away from civilization, he fired 2 shots while the car was moving, with 1 shot missing and 1 hitting Gennaro in the head. He hid the body, though with minimal effort, only covering it with some dirt, leaves, and a single stick. A driver on the same road stopped his car and spoke to Jerrod, who explained that he needed help with getting his car up from the side of the road. The man drove Jerrod to his grandparents', where he called his roommate for help. Eventually, Jerrod decided on trying to erase his fingerprints with water displacing spray that he got from the roommate's father. However, when Jerrod returned to the crime scene, he found the man who had driven him to his grandparents waiting on the side of the road. He had discovered the body and contacted police. Jerrod immediately decided on walking eastwards with the intention of hitchhiking to Canada. However, he made a mistake and mistook a sheriff's department car for a non-police vehicle and was taken into custody. In the following clip, he gets asked some brief questions by a co-OCO news reporter.
anything to say for yourself today?
No, ma'am.
Any reason why you might have done this to this young man?
No, ma'am.
No reason.
No, ma'am.
You have nothing to say for yourself.
No, ma'am.
You want to tell the community anything?
No, ma'am.
Did you confess to police?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you proud of what you've done?
No, ma'am.
Do you have remorse for what you've done?
No, ma'am.
Jerrod does not wish to comment on the murder, but it is clear that he feels neither pride nor remorse. The police officer who arrested him was also the one who interrogated him. The interrogation was rather unusual. As opposed to most criminals being interrogated, Jerrod was very compliant and respectful.
Ready? Hey, Jerrod. You know, my name is Under Sheriff J.T. Palmer. Me and you met on the side of Highway 177 in about Sing Road at about 3:12 this morning, didn't we?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And at that time, you made a couple of statements to me when I put you down on the ground, and then after we got up, I read your rights to you, correct?
You read my rights before I got up, sir.
Okay. Before you got up off the ground.
Yes, sir.
But you did make a couple of statements.
Yes, sir, I did.
Before I read your
Statements,
rights,
sir.
without me asking you anything.
Yes, sir.
You told me you was the guy that I was trying to find.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then I read your rights to you.
Yes, sir.
And then rights was you had the right to remain silent.
The Miranda rights, sir.
Okay. Anything you say can be against you in court.
Yes, sir.
You had the right to talk to an attorney, have him present when you've been questioned.
Yes, sir.
And if you couldn't afford to hire one to be appointed to represent you.
Yes, sir.
And I asked you then if you wanted to talk to me.
Yes, sir.
And you agreed to talk.
At the time, I said no, but didn't I?
No. I read your rights to you.
But whenever you asked me if I wished to talk with you about it,
You said you didn't know, and then you said...
Yes, yes,
And then
yeah, that's right.
And then you said, yes, I've already told you, so
Yes.
I might as well. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
The interrogator starts by laying the groundwork for the interrogation. He briefly recalls the events leading to Murray's arrest and confirms that he has been read his rights.
And during that talk, do you remember what you told me after I read your Miranda warning to you?
Not word for word, but the effect, yes.
Okay, and what do you remember telling me?
In summation that I'm guilty, yes.
Of what?
Of murder.
Okay, and who did you murder?
Gennaro.
Okay, and how did you murder him?
With a gun. I shot him in the head twice.
Okay.
3 shots were fired, 1 missed.
Throughout the interrogation, Jerrod is extremely objective, polite, and upfront about the murder. He shows neither pride, remorse, regret, or any other emotion related to the murder for that matter. It's as if this situation is normal for him and he just wants to get out of the hassle of being interrogated and sentenced. It's as if he values nothing, not even his own life. This is further supported by the fact that he shows no emotional reaction to being caught by the police and seems completely unbothered by being interrogated. Later on, he states that he thinks a fitting punishment for the crime is the death penalty, yet he seems unfazed.
And where did you shoot? Where was this? Where did this happen at?
Around 5 miles north of Asher, Oklahoma, on our side road.
Do you know what that side road's called?
No, sir.
Do you know what's on the corner of that side road?
Power station, sir.
Like a substation, a
Yeah.
media substation?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And does that road go all the way through?
No, sir. It turns left.
Okay. And did you have knowledge of this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Are you from that area?
Yes, sir.
And your mom and dad's house is not too far from there?
Maybe half a mile to 3/4 of a mile, sir.
Okay. Can you get to your mom and dad's house by going down that road?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you indicated to me you shot this guy while he was driving his pickup down the road.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I want to emphasize the fact that Jerrod shot Gennaro while the vehicle was in motion. This displays a degree of impulsivity. He could have easily asked Gennaro to stop by the side of the road. Instead, he chose an alternative which led to the vehicle driving off the road and landing in the ditch. This non-care for danger is easier to understand when you know of Jerrod's fatalistic worldview. He thinks that everything happens for a clear reason. Everything is destined to happen. As it was uncovered later, Jerrod felt like, quote, the king in a fatalistic world. His acceptance of destiny might have made it easier for him to risk having the car drive off the road, as, in his head, it was destined to happen. The next few minutes contain trivial information, such as Jerrod's address, full name, and similar. I've cut it out so we can move on to more interesting parts.
The pickup that he was in tonight and you was in, was that his pickup or your pickup?
I'm fairly sure it was his, sir.
Okay, and you remember what kind of pickup that was?
Black.
Okay,
I'm sorry, I don't
you don't know.
know much about cars, so.
But single cab?
Single cab, black, dent on the passenger side.
Okay.
Jerrod's unusual demeanor has led many people to try diagnosing him with various mental health conditions. A common one is autism spectrum disorder, or ASD for short. Jerrod is attentive to details. For example, in the clip that just played, he recalls a dent on the passenger side. He is emotionless in both facial expressions, body language, and tone of voice. Many also point to his lack of empathy as an indicator of autism. However, this is most likely built on the stereotype that people with ASD do not have empathy, which has largely been found not to be the case. People on the spectrum also tend to avoid violent acts such as assault or murder.
I went down to his dorm room and asked if I could be given a ride to Walmart in exchange for $20 gas money.
Okay. And did he agree to that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And did he in fact take you to Walmart?
Yes, sir. We got in his pickup truck and he drove me to Walmart.
And so you're talking about the Walmart in Ada?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And that's a couple miles from the school?
2.2, no, 1.7 miles, sir.
1.7 miles.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, so he took you to Walmart?
Yes, sir.
And did you both go in?
No, we did not go in, sir.
Okay, and why not?
We pulled into the parking lot, then I pulled the weapon on him and demanded that he take me to Asher, Oklahoma, sir.
Okay, and why did all of a sudden did you decide that you needed to go to Asher?
Because I was planning to take him out into the country and kill him.
Okay.
It's difficult to tell why Jerrod stopped to think for 12 seconds to this question. It's a simple question. No reflection or reasoning needs to be used to answer it. He already told the interrogator about the murder, so it seems strange for him to try coming up with an alternative explanation to hide his true intentions.
So, when you got him at the dorm, was your intention never to go to Walmart?
Yes, sir.
You was, in fact, was you at that point already in your mind was going to take him and kill him?
Yes, sir.
Had he done something to you? That,
No, sir.
Okay. So you just, can you kind of tell me when you made this decision that you was going to take him and kill him, why?
I made the decision 3 days prior to the incident. Attempted it 2 days prior to the incident, but he was not in his room, and then did so today as he was in his room.
Okay. So you've been planning this for 2 days?
2 weeks, yes.
2 weeks.
But not with a selected individual, no.
Okay. And when did you get to the point where you knew it was going to be him?
That was 3 days prior to the incident.
And why him? Of all the kids in college here, why him?
I believe believed that he would have had the least impact, sir.
Impact of, on what?
I believed he didn't have many friends, or many close friends, I should rephrase. And as as he is going missing, his absence would be less notable.
Okay, so would have been if tomorrow at school nobody would have thought anything of it.
That was the plan, sir, yes.
Okay.
3 psychological evaluations were made on Jerrod in relation to the criminal prosecution, 2 of which concluded he did not know right from wrong at the time of the murder, and suggesting he has either bipolar disorder or schizoaffective disorder. It was also uncovered that Jerrod has grandiose and delusional beliefs, with a sense that he was, quote, required to kill someone. In a psychological report, it was found that Jerrod felt, quote, as if he was receiving stage directions, that a life had to be taken. He would meditate and the thought of death would come to him, making him feel light and good, end quote. Jerrod called himself a creature of impulse. He also revealed that he was planning on devising a new energy source using the space-time continuum, which would make him rich. His delusional beliefs, disorganized and poorly planned execution of the murder, and total lack of emotions towards facing a life in prison or the death penalty led to him being found not guilty by reason of insanity, due to not being able to discern right from wrong or understanding the nature of his actions at the time of the murder. If you enjoyed this video, I would greatly appreciate it if you left a like and subscribe to my channel. This helps me reach a larger audience. I am planning on making a lot more content, with at least 1 video a week. So if you're interested in true crime, and in particular criminal psychology, you should subscribe. Please leave any thoughts or questions in the comments. I will be answering them. If you're interested in a deep dive in Jerrod Murray's interrogation and case, I recommend checking out the video titled The Case of Jerrod Murray by the channel Criminal Psychology. It is extremely insightful and fascinating. I will leave a link to that in the description. Thanks again for watching the video. Until next time.